by any stretch of the imagination. It's really loud. It was a really easy hike to get to, not too bad, but it's really refreshing here in the trees, listening to the water. I'm really glad I made it. Okay, welcome to my campsite. I made it. I'm actually on the Poudre River, which is why it sounds amazing. But I have a bear locker, which I'm really excited about because I didn't have a bear locker at my last campsite last year. 3 bundles of wood. I plan to have a roaring fire. I have my nice camp chair looking out on the river. Look how crazy the river is. I brought an inner tube to just kind of hang out in the water, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I would definitely get swept away. So there's a little trail that connects all of the campsites, which is kind of neat. Did anybody else do these logic games when they were little? You have all the clues, and then you have to figure out who it is based upon the clues. I'm a nerd. I loved these growing up. So it so rudely started to rain, so I had to bring my operation inside. I'm gonna give it 30 minutes because I also haven't eaten anything. So I need to cook some dinner. So I think I'm gonna give it 30 minutes. It's probably still gonna be dark. Man, this is gonna be an adventure because I think it's probably gonna be dark when I cook outside after this rain passes over. But I'm glad I have my tent up because, can you hear it? Can you see it? It's starting to rain, y'all. So I'm having a pretty good time in the rain. I have my logic puzzle. I have snacks. I have a beer. Just waiting the rain out. I really should be getting ready to make dinner, but I am mesmerized by the Poudre River. I didn't tell you what river I'm at. I'm at the Poudre River. It's called Cache la Poudre, and apparently it means bury or hide the gunpowder, or hide the stash, I think, in French. I don't know. The French named this river, but it's the Poudre River. Welcome to the Poudre River. So I said that the French named this river the Cache la Poudre. I wonder what the Native American name for this river is, because it was their river long before the French even knew that this area existed. So yeah, I think I'm gonna look that up when I get back home. What is the indigenous name for this river that I am camping on? Good morning. I made it through my second solo camping trip. It is, let's see, it is June the 8th. It's already hot out here. It is about 10 after 8 a.m. and it's already hot. So I was gonna build a fire, but I don't think I'm gonna build a fire. But anyway, let's recap what went on. So I drove up here yesterday on the 7th, and I immediately did a hike. I hiked the Lady Moon Trail up to Disappointment Falls, which was really, really gorgeous. And I got to sit by the falls and have my lunch, which was really nice. It was a pretty short hike. It was about 5.5, almost 6 miles, but it was super duper muddy. My entire foot was submerged in mud and water for a few sections of the hike. But it was really nice getting out there. There were lots of meadows as well. And it's been raining a considerable amount for Colorado. So everything was really lush and green. Did not see any moose. I'm on the hunt for moose. Didn't see any moose, but it was a good time nonetheless. And then I'm at the Stove Prairie Campground right now, which is right on the Poudre River. You can probably hear it behind me. It has been the soundtrack to this trip. It was fantastic because I got to just take my chair and put my chair right up on the river's edge and be mesmerized by the sight and sound of the river. I'm in campground number 7, which I think is the best campground because you are literally right on the water. Like, you are steps away from the water. And so, I don't know, I just thought it was the best campsite because of that. This year I brought activities. I learned from last year. I brought a word search, and I also brought some logic problems, and it was fantastic. It was great. It's exactly what I needed. It rained a little bit, so I got to go in the tent and do my little puzzles. Before I cooked dinner, I sat by the river, did a word search. I cooked dinner last night. Dinner was super duper yummy. And then it got dark pretty late. I would say that we got light for a really long time. So I only used a bundle of wood. I ended up buying 3 bundles, and I only used a bundle and like 2 sticks from the second bundle. So I overbought my wood, but that's okay. I'll just leave it for the next camper. And today I'm going to take a hike. Hewlett Gulch, that's where I'm going. I think that's an 8-mile hike, and don't really know too much about that hike, but I'm gonna do Hewlett Gulch after I finish breakfast, and do that hike, and then go back to the reality of civilization. It's so gorgeous out here. It's been really peaceful. I didn't know how relaxing it would be to just listen to water all day long. It's great. It's fantastic. So solo camping trip number 2 is in the books, and I look forward to more solo camping adventures. So yeah, I just crossed that because that is the only way to get to the rest of the trail. And yeah, it wasn't too bad. These pants are pretty good in terms of waterproof. Proud of myself. Adventures. Look what I get to cross again. More water. But I'm still in good spirits. And I have my trekking poles, so let's cross it. All right, I think I found my light. I think this is where my skin is glowing the most, the prettiest. It's a combination of drinking water and going on an 8-mile hike. Anyway, just finished the Hewlett Gulch 8-mile, a little bit more than 8 miles hike. It was hard, but I did it. I'm very happy that I did it. After last year's 12-mile hike, anything under 12 miles seems very doable. It took me like 3 hours, I think. I had to cross maybe I was crossing the Poudre River. I don't know. I think everything's the Poudre River. Anyway, I had to cross twice, and now my shoes are crazy because my feet were absolutely soaked. But it was an adventure. I'm so glad I did it. I feel like I'm getting used to this solo camping. I feel like I'm getting to be a pro at it. And yeah, here's to the next adventure. Bye!